Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 41. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Astotara Sata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 41. Shankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindo daka kriyaha. Shankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindo daka kriyaha. Shankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindo daka kriyaha. Shankaraha, such unwanted children. Narakaya, for hellish life. Eva, certainly. Kulagnanam, of those who are the killers of the family. Kulasya, of the family. Cha, also. Patanti, fall down. Pitaraha, forefathers. He, certainly. Esham, of them. Lupta, stopped. Pinda, offerings. Udaka, water. Kriyaha, performance. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. When there is increase of unwanted population, a hellish situation is created both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. In such corrupt families, there is no offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors. Purport. According to the rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful actions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered to forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in the devotional service one who is engaged in the devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam, Devarshri Bhutapta Nrinam Pritinam Nakinkaro Nayanam Charajan Sarvatmana Ya Sharanam Saranyam Gato Mukundam Pariritya Kartam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Bhagavatam 11.541. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shankaro narakaya iva kula gnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. So in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, Arjuna asks Krishna to drive his chariot between the two armies so he can see who is there, who wants to fight, and who is his enemy, who doesn't want to fight, who is his friend. So in the same way, Krishna is the chariot driver of every one of us. The body in which we live in is the chariot, and the driver of the chariot is Krishna. Normally, Krishna drives the chariot, and we are not very much conscious of this. But we have the opportunity to ask Krishna that since you're in my heart, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddesh Tishtati, you're situated in my heart, then you please guide me. Driving my chariot means guide me. And driving the chariot between the two armies is Arjuna's way of telling us to ask Krishna, please, you reveal to me what is reality. Who is my enemy? Who is my friend? And factually, everything connected with the bodily conception of life, everything connected with aham mama iti, aham mameti, I am this body, everything connected with that, and any pursuit of happiness independently of Krishna, of the material body and the relationship with the body, these are our enemies, our real enemies. So here in this verse, Arjuna is arguing with Krishna that the purpose of life is to make spiritual progress. Now, we are talking 5,000 years ago. Krishna and Arjuna are having a discussion at a time when the Vedic culture is very much present on this planet. Therefore, Arjuna, as a prince, as a warrior, he was concerned for the benefit of his citizens. According to the Vedas, we have history going back since time immemorial. And the best of this history, that history which gives example of human nature struggle to be free from material life, that history is compiled into the Vedas. And according to the history, during Vedic times, the rulers of the planets were known as Raja Rishis. They were not just king. Raja means king and Rishi means sage. They were not just kings, they were sages, and at the same time they were kings. Why were they sages? Because they were trained up from the age of 5 to the age of 20 by their spiritual master. They were trained up to understand the purpose of life. That yes, the king is the representative of God, no doubt. But unless he acts as a representative of God, he cannot claim that position. But traditionally, Raja Rishis or the Kshatriyas, they were kings, but they were also spiritually advanced. So in this verse, Arjuna is saying that if we don't perform our religious duties, then the family tradition will be destroyed. Never forgetting that in Vedic times, the progress of making spiritual advancement up to the age of Kali was gradual. There was an infrastructure which was conducive to spiritual life. That is not happening now. And Krishna appeared on this planet, and from the moment that he left this planet 5,000 years ago, from that very moment, Kali Yuga began. And what is Kali Yuga? Kaler dosha nide rajan. Shukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit, my dear King, Rajan, Kaler dosha nide. Kali Yuga, it is a nide, it is an ocean of dosha, of faults. This is Kali Yuga. But he eka mahan guna, asti. There is certainly one good quality about Kali Yuga. And what is that? Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. That by performing Krishna Kirtan, by glorifying Lord Krishna, by accepting Krishna as the pinnacle of glorification, then mukta sangha, we become liberated from the bodily conception of life. We become connected with the life of liberation, with the life of the soul. And parambrajet, when this body dies, we don't take another birth in the material world. We go, braja, brajet, param, to the topmost planetary system. This is the lesson that Krishna wanted to teach. That is why he appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga, because he understood that as soon as they leave this planet, ignorance will become predominant, family traditions will become lost, the process of Vedic advancement in gradual steps will be lost. The only way that people will make progress is to simply surrender to me. But by mercy, I am willing to make concessions in Kali Yuga, that simply by chanting my name, simply by surrendering to me, my devotee will become free from material contamination. So, Sarva Dharmam Parijjaja, this is his main instruction, give up all kinds of dharma. Mam ekam sharanam raja, simply surrender to me. Then I will relieve you from all your karma. Ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshash ami, I will deliver you from all your pap, from all your sin, from all your ignorance. So as soon as that, Masucha, don't be afraid. Krishna is directly telling us what is the process of perfection for Kali Yuga. And the process is very simple. As soon as we surrender to Krishna, then our karma is finished. Yet we see that devotees, when they surrender to Krishna, still some karma is there. Still, after the surrendering process, still they are going through ups and downs in material life. How do you explain this? Very simple. When you surrender to Krishna, and it doesn't depend on any external situation. Initiation, not initiation, wearing a dhoti, tilak, all these things are simply externals to the point of surrender which must happen within the heart. If that surrender happens, then the tilak, the devotional practices, the temple, the deities, everything becomes perfect. But it has to begin with this connection within the heart. Mam ekam sharanam, Krishna says. When you do that surrender, then the previous karma is finished. You will no longer suffer the reactions of what you have done in this life or in previous life, which was sinful. All the accounts are checked. But what happens at that moment, from that moment that your karma is finished, the process of purifying ourselves from the propensities to commit further karma, that process begins. In other words, yes, my criminality is absolved, but my criminal mentality is not. That's why the devotees go through different stages of purification. And it becomes very easy and very simple if we simply take Krishna and put him in our hearts. You don't have to do anything else. Therefore, he has invested all his potencies in his name. Krishna, Varnam Tusha Krishnam, Sangha Upangasta Parshadam. He has come with all his associates, Yajna Sankirtanai Prayar, to establish the Yajna of Sankirtan, Yajanti Hi Sumedashaha. And those who are Sumeda, who are highly, auspiciously, Meda, intelligence, those who are intelligent take to the shelter of devotional service under the direction of Krishna's incarnation as his devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, no yajna is necessary. Automatically, whatever connection, whatever obligation we have to the demigods, to our forefathers, to the people in general, to our teachers, all these things are automatically taken care of by surrendering to Krishna. How is that possible? Because when you surrender to Krishna, everything is connected with him. You're not just surrendering to Krishna, you're surrendering to Krishna, and Krishna means all the demigods, all the rishis, all the sages, all the forefathers, all the friends, all the family members, all my previous connections. They automatically become satisfied, they automatically become balanced by the simple process of surrendering to Krishna. Just like I give the example of the train, there is the engine and there is many, many wagons, first class wagons, second class, third class, no class, and people are living in these wagons, but if the engine isn't working, the wagons don't make any progress. So we can make progress in spiritual life if we put the engine of Krishna in the beginning. That is the one. Material life is simply zero. Look around you. Look in this world. There is hardly any compassion. There is hardly any mercy. There is hardly any religiosity. It's simply every man for himself. We have leaders who are unqualified. We are constantly fighting and killing each other. The simple business of satisfying the senses is the be-all and end-all of life. Now, it makes sense if my only business is to satisfy me, my senses, and if my neighbor's only business is to satisfy his senses, we're going to clash. Because there is no limit, there is no end to how much we want to satisfy our senses. We take one, we want one more. This is called greed, loba. Loba, greed, it is like a blazing fire. The more you put into it, the more it will burn. So individually, communally, socially, nationally, we are fighting against each other. There is no one with the brains to understand how to surrender to God so that we become free from this greed, from this lust and greed that burns day after day. In every religion, love of God is promoted. In Christianity, Lord Jesus said very clearly, love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. But if you look at Christianity, I'm a Christian, I'm brought up as a Catholic, I don't see that surrender to God. I see that give us today our daily bread, forgive us our sins so we can forgive others. It is a business of maintaining the status quo of this body and ensuring my sense enjoyment, either directly or indirectly. So to prevent this lust from going out of control, to prevent us fighting, for us to fight day after day against each other, we have some kind of religious principle, so we can control. But the real purpose of religious principles is to connect with God. The Muslims, they pray 5 times a day in church. They pray for their material needs. Surely if you pray 5 times a day, the penny must drop that I am praying to God and I'm asking him so many things. Isn't it also not possible that I can turn the table and say to God, every day I'm coming, I'm praying to you for my needs, you're supplying to me. Now what do you want? What can I do for you? This is the process of spiritual life. You have to turn those tables. Instead of praying to God for what I want, we have to pray to God for what he wants. Once we understand that everything is connected with God, then we will love everything and everyone. And it is not possible but a gradual process. We have seen in the last thousands of years, at least in the last 2,000 years, that the Western civilization has been active. We have made no progress as far as understanding a relationship with God. Everybody is thinking, I'm American, I'm English, I'm Russian, I'm man, I'm woman. If you think like that, then you fall prey to all the connections of this consciousness. If you are too worried about the body, then you have to worry about meeting the needs of the body. Therefore, it is said in the purport, Prabhupada says, Devar Shrish Bhutapta Nrinam Pritinam. Devas, the demigods. The demigods supply us sunlight, moonlight, water, earth, seasons. All these things are out of our control. I remember as a child growing up in a farm in Italy, that my uncles, they used to plant the seeds according to the phases of the moon. They understood that the success of our agricultural endeavor depended on a superior force. And these are called the devas. So deva, devarshi, rishi. Rishi means those great souls who take the trouble to understand what is the purpose of life and who teach us this purpose. These are called rishis. Rishi means one who knows what is the purpose of life, one who understands what is spirit and what is matter. So, Bhuta means people in general. We deal with people in general. People do service for us. We serve to them. We become entangled. Bhutapta. Apta means friends and relatives. We all have friends and relatives. We become entangled in those relationships. So, Pitrinam, forefathers. I have a debt to my father. He has a debt to his father. He has a debt to his father. Therefore, here Arjuna is saying that if we kill the men of society, then the family will not be able to offer oblations to the forefathers. We will get stuck. We will get the reaction. The forefathers, when somebody dies, he gives his body. Normally it takes another bodily birth. But sometimes, because of suicide or because of other sinful activities, the living entity dies and he is not qualified even to receive another birth, human or animal. He has to live as a ghost. So to help our forefathers who may be stuck in their process of evolution, every year, family members, the head of the family, offers pinda. Normally they go to a holy place. In Bengal, they go to Gaya. In Gaya, not only is there a place of Buddha, but before even Buddha's appearance, there is the temple of Lord Vishnu. His footprint is there. So the footprint of Lord Vishnu, they go there, and with the help of the Brahmanas, they offer food to the Lord Vishnu, and then from that food which becomes prasadam, they offer it to the forefathers. So the forefathers get benefit and become, their path to emancipation becomes clear. But this argument given by Arjuna is only valid in the process of gradual Vedic knowledge. So also Krishna says in the Gita that yagna shishta shanto muchyate salbake bishai, that one who takes the remnants of sacrifice becomes free from sin. What is the sacrifice? Sacrifice means to understand that we are depending upon others. We are depending upon the demigods. We are depending upon God. So, since the demigods also depend on Krishna, there is no need to surrender to the demigods. We can go directly to Krishna. With that one process, Sarva Dharma Parijjaja, everything is taken care of. By putting water on the root, the entire tree becomes benefit. You cannot water the tree leaf by leaf, twig by twig, branch by branch. No, simply by that one process of putting water on the root, the entire tree becomes benefited, becomes nourished. And the root of all creation is Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, Krishna says. I am the manifestation of everything. Matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is coming from me. So, iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Those who worship me, understanding that I am the source of everything, are Buddha bhava, are really intelligent. You will not find this intelligent in material universities. You will not find this intelligent and knowledge in material endeavor. Everybody is busy with some material endeavor. The problem with material endeavor is it will come to an end. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are, how famous you are, how many degrees you have, how much money you have, how much family you have, how much health you have. Ultimately, it will come to an end. Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartina Arjuna. This is Krishna's opinion, that from the topmost planet, Brahma, from Brahmaloka, Bhuvanal to the Bhuvaloka where we live, Punar Avartino Arjuna, are places where we repeatedly come back. But Mamupetya too, however, if you achieve me, Punar Jamana Vidyate, you will not have another birth. So, this is the purpose, this is the great gift of Srila Prabhupada, that he gave us a process of transcendental life which transcends all material situations. It is like miracle medicine. If you take this medicine given by Prabhupada of Harinam Sankirtan, then all material diseases are cured. You don't have to take a different medicine for different disease. No, whatever disease you have, whatever problems you have, whatever entanglement you have, whatever your past has been, by taking this one medicine of the name of Krishna, everything will be cured. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we have our usual members tonight. Rob Illings, Ki Jai, Anna Maria, Hare Krishna Dandavas, best wishes to the assembled devotees for the new year. Thank you. Also to all of you. Have a Krishna conscious new year. You cannot get a happy new year without Krishna. It's not possible. Atma Pagemaker, Atma Vidya Prabhu, Hare Krishna, good evening. Krishna Premavati. Rob Illing says, when Krishna is served, all duties are fulfilled and all debts are settled. Shraddha Shabde Vishva Shakoi, Shurida Nishchoy, Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This is one of Prabhupada's most famous, most often used. Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. All karma is taken care of simply by doing bhakti to Krishna. That is the definition of faith. Faith means that simply by serving Krishna, everything will be taken care of. Unfailing medicine immunes us from bhava roga madness. Exactly. Believe me, I'm an old man. I've been around the circles of this material world for many, many years. There is nothing like Krishna. There is nothing but Krishna. There is nothing else. This is such a great gift that has been given to us by Lord Krishna himself, that even Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, he says, Kinya, you can buy me. How? Bolo Gaurahari. Simply by chanting, simply by worshipping Gauranga, by worshipping Radha Krishna, you can buy me. And if Lord Nityananda becomes your property, then you get the property of Radha and Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We'll see you on Friday, same channel. From now on, I'm going to give the classes on my own Facebook page. So Friday evening, and Happy New Year. Haribol.